Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are making braided chocolate mochi milk bread. I wanted to combine two of my favorite textures from Hokkaido milk bread and mochi into one bread recipe. This bread is fluffy and chewy with a slight chocolate flavor. It is amazing toasted with some butter, or you can even make it into a super fancy French toast. I hope you enjoy, and let's get into the recipe. First, let's make the chocolate mochi filling. In a clean bowl, start with 1 cup of glutinous rice flour, 3 tablespoons of sugar, and half teaspoon of salt. Whisk to combine all ingredients. Next, drizzle in half cup of milk. Do not mix in the milk, just drizzle it as evenly as possible over the flour. Cover and microwave on high for 1 minute. After a minute in the microwave, use a spatula to mix the whole milk and rice flour together. Then adding half cup of chocolate chips. Continue to combine with spatula until chocolate chips have melted and mostly incorporated in the dough. Cover the bowl once more and microwave on high for another 30 seconds. Use your spatula to knead the dough for a minute or so. You want to make sure all the flour and chocolate are fully incorporated. The dough should be soft and shiny, then cover and set aside for later use. Now let's make the dough. The first part of the dough is to make the water roux. In a pot over medium heat, add 3 tablespoons of milk, 2 tablespoons of bread flour, and 3 tablespoons of water. Whisk to combine, then continuously stir the mixture until thickened into a paste. Take it out of the pot and set aside. A water roux is used in breads to make it extra soft, and the bread will stay fresh longer. Mixer with a dough hook attachment, I have 2½ cups of bread flour. Adding 1/4 cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of instant yeast, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Whisk to combine. Then adding half cup of milk, 1 large egg, 1/4 cup melted and salted butter, and finally the water roux you just made. Knead the dough in the stand mixer for about 8 minutes or until the dough is no longer sticking to the sides of your bowl. This recipe is actually King Arthur's Hokkaido milk bread recipe. I will link the original recipe below in the description box. This is one of my favorite bread recipes to make. Once the dough is ready, take it out of the mixing bowl and knead it by hand a few times until the dough feels smooth. Then form into a ball. Lightly grease the bowl, adding your dough ball and cover with lid or plastic wrap. Place this in a warmer location to rest for 1 to 1½ hours. After your dough has risen to double its size, take the dough ball out of the bowl and roll it until it's flat and rectangle-ish, I will say about 1/8 of an inch. Spread the mochi dough mixture you made earlier. This can be a little tricky since the bread is very soft while the mochi dough is a little thicker and stickier. It will take a little patience to gently spread the mochi dough as evenly as you can in the center of the bread dough. Don't worry if you can't spread it all the way to the corner. Once you're satisfied with the mochi dough, fold the edges of the bread dough over like an envelope. Then take a rolling pin and start rolling this envelope into a large flat rectangle dough again. Make sure you are flipping it once in a while so both sides are even. Then fold the sides of the bread dough in once more and repeat rolling it out as flat as you can. And then one last time, fold the sides in. This time you'll roll this to about a little longer than the length of your loaf pan. Using a sharp knife, cut the dough into 3 strips, but do not cut all the way through. Make sure the top of the bread is still attached. Twist each section a little so the layer of the bread is facing upward. Then tightly braid the dough and place in the greased loaf pan. Cover with towel or plastic wrap and proof in a warm place for another hour. After your bread is done proofing for the second time, whisk up an egg and brush it over the top of the bread. The egg wash will give the top a deep golden color. Bake the bread at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 minutes. Once the bread is done, it is very important to let it cool down completely before cutting it open. The mochi dough on the inside needs time to cool down and set, otherwise it will look raw.